Today
is Friday.
We are back.
Welcome to the show that we're doing right now.
Happy Friday.
This show is not high on my list of priorities.
We had great chemistry as actors, and we became really good friends.
We're the three best friends that anyone can have.
We're
and
the
we'll
two
never,
best
ever,
friends
ever,
that...
ever leave each other.
It's the Steve and Vikki Podcast with Tom Sullivan. They used to be radio's #1 with women and men, but the suits let them go for a childish replacement.
So now they broadcast from Steve's dark and stinky basement.
Wow.
Hello, everybody. It's the podcast. Steve McCoy, Vikki Locke.
Steve
Tom
did have
Sullivan.
a candle to get rid of the stink in the stinky basement, but Tom blew it out.
I blew it out, Steve.
Now I'm smelling your sweat.
Yeah, okay. Jeez. I try.
I'm not a scent guy. I don't really tolerate scents well, so I had to put it out.
Common sense.
I love.
Thanks, she's here all morning. Vikki Locke, everybody. Good morning.
Where were you for the eclipse?
I was in my backyard and didn't get any glasses, but Mike remembered something that he did when he was in school, in grade school, with paper. And so, it was great. And we were all prepared that it was going to be partial, but we had so many friends saying, I was so disappointed it didn't get dark. I said, well, you kind of had to leave. You couldn't. I don't think Atlanta, it was dark anywhere in the city.
No. We were 97% covered here. But isn't it amazing that with 97% coverage, the 3% that was showing, it was still light? That's how powerful the sun is.
I saw in Oregon and Charleston.
Yeah,
they had the complete totality, everybody kept saying. It was amazing.
Totality where I was. We went to Hiawassee.
Uh-huh.
I had some friends come up from Tampa, the real good friends from high school.
Specifically to see the...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were going to go to Tennessee, and I said, why do we got to go all the way to Tennessee, guys? Let's go up to the North Georgia mountains.
Yeah.
And we found that Hiawassee was a great locale, and nobody was going there, and there was nobody there, really.
And during that time, you could take off the solar glasses for 2 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And totally look at it.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do that. I wasn't going to take a chance. Something paper thin. Like that. Made in China.
Well, no. But if you take them off, though, they said you could take them off safely for 2 minutes during the total fullness.
Right, because it would be dark. Why would you have your glasses on in the dark?
Right. Well, true.
Because he's Steve McCoy.
Well, I didn't look at it during that time.
I will be blind.
You didn't look at the sun during the whole darkness thing?
No, I did, yeah.
With his glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were hot at him. I mean, if I could have bought a dozen of those and sold them for $10.
I know.
I know somebody that spent $40 for their family. He was so nervous. I can't find him anywhere. $40.
I know somebody in New York City bought some for $60.
Ooh.
$60.
Did they think it was worth it at the end?
No, I don't know.
Hey, how about all the ones at Amazon were recalling because they were bogus and fakes?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to look at it.
Yeah, and all the people that could have their eyes damaged. I guess there's a special place for those people who tricked everybody.
And I had dinner with a friend last night, and she was saying, because a lot of schools had it an excused absence day. Because parents said, I want my children to be able to see this. And they said all their friends just took a long weekend. And I said, well, did you watch the eclipse? No, we didn't even care because we were out on the beach. And so the schools were trying to be nice, saying, okay, you can have the day off. And they just used it as a vacation day.
Did you hear? We heard crickets and we saw the birds were chirping. It was pretty amazing. I was in my backyard and we were in the pool just kind of looking up. And
the birds start to roost because they think it's nighttime.
Yeah, they start to roost. Vikki, quick Google that. Roost. What is that? Roost.
Roost. They go to their
the birds are going to be. I'm Steve McCoy downstream. The birds are roosting.
While Jim wrestles the giant anaconda, I'll be in the tent making banana daiquiris.
How did Sam, your dog Sam, did he act funny?
I wasn't with him. He was here. I went
by himself? You left him alone?
Yeah. I went
tied to a tree.
We stayed with Ryan and Brendan.
Left some glasses by him.
Yeah. I left him some glasses. Yeah, we saw it up in Hiawassee at a school. We went up on this hill at a school where they're charging $20 a carload to get into the school parking lot. And we went in there. My friend said, well, we'll go in there. And I said, $20? said, we do have concessions, though. We have a concession stand and bathrooms.
And cotton candy's $2 for $1.
Well, I didn't find any concessions anywhere. I don't know what she was talking about, but
She was lying.
Hey,
Give me your $20.
I saw a friend of mine, Catherine. She posted on Facebook that the 2.5-minute eclipse was a 5-hour drive home from hell from where she
It was a
was.
little rough getting home. Yeah, we ran into some traffic in Helen, Georgia, and then down closer to Atlanta on 400.
Because once it was done, everybody just headed back, right?
Yes.
So we stopped off in Dahlonega and had dinner at the Smith House, which is always a fun
Nice.
place.
You know what I did? I love the Smith House, and also the other place up in, there's another one, the Dillard House up north. But what I did, Steve, is I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to worry about photographing it, with all my equipment because there'll be so many great pictures out there. So what I did, I set up a GoPro which has like a wide-angle lens, and I put it in my backyard looking at the whole skyline, the trees, and the grass. And then I shot one picture a second, and I shot about 1,400 pictures. Put them all on a video editor, and then did it in time lapse.
Did you put this on Facebook?
Put it on Facebook, and you can see the shadows.
I want to
the way
see
the
it.
shadows are moving. The shadows of the trees are moving like in a
Really?
circle.
Huh.
Yeah, it was really kind of
I
cool
didn't
how the
see
whole
that.
thing happened.
Yeah, NASA had some great shots, too,
I bet.
of the whole thing.
Wouldn't that be great? Here we go. We look to NASA for great shots.
Yeah.
There's not
And that guy, the couple, I think he was a big-time astronomer. They timed their wedding to be exactly at the time of the eclipse.
Wow.
That was kinda
That's
cool.
cool. Was that Carl Sagan?
Yes, that
Yes.
was.
Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
I think he's dead.
Billions
But
and
it's all right.
billions.
It's okay. It's all right.
Just found it, Vicky, just scroll down about, to the day of the eclipse which was Monday.
I'm scrolling.
Hey, in a
I'm
couple of
looking,
minutes, we're going to be calling Siri, guys.
Oh.
Susan Bennett here in Atlanta is the voice of Siri.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to
No,
find
about
out if
Siri.
she and Alexa, are having a cat fight.
Hey,
Yeah,
what
right,
up?
Right.
I think I want to know how she got the job.
Okay.
Susan Bennett.
Ask her.
Okay.
All right, we will. It's also National Relaxation Day. It made me think of one of your adventures, Tom. Remember when we sent you out to get in cabs?
Yes, I get a massage.
Massage a cab driver?
I remember that one guy. Yeah, sure.
Listen to
do.
this.
Tom Sullivan's Adventures on Star 94.
It's Atlanta's Star 94 show, National Relaxation Day. And we have sent Tom Sullivan out with the Steve and Vikki live microphone.
This should be fun, enjoyable for Tom and all of our listeners.
Okay, Steve and Vikki, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm over behind the Hotel Nico, and there's cabbies lined up like there's no tomorrow.
Okay, so you're going to jump inside and just keep the microphone open.
Yeah?
And at some point just suggest that it's National Relaxation Day and ask the cab driver if you can give him some sort of massage.
Because statistics show that cabbies have a stressful job.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. And I guess I got to touch them, right?
That would make sense.
Okay. All right, hold on, here's one. Wait a minute. Hi, excuse me, are you working right now? Yes, sir. Okay, great. All right. He's working. How are you doing? All right, sir. Where are we going? Just through Buckhead. Oh, okay. Okay. How was the Olympics for you?
Oh, well, it's okay. It's not really bad. But we work a lot of hours.
Oh, I bet. Okay, he's working a lot of hours. Must be really stressed out. Today is National Relaxation Day. Did you know that?
No, really, I don't know about it.
Yeah, really. Do you have a stressful job?
Oh, sure, I work too many hours. I hardly stay at home.
I bet you're kind of stressed out, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe I could just give you a little tiny massage on your shoulders?
What are you talking about?
Just on your shoulders?
No. I'm a married man. I can't allow a man to do a massage on me, sir.
Oh, no, just please, just on your... I know you're probably stressful there.
No, I don't want to say this. I'm not a gay man. Get out of my car now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, get out.
He's got too much stress.
Steve and Vikki. Tom Sullivan in search of food.
And God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again.
Star 94.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
Yes,
All right,
that
very
was
good.
good.
I am not the gay
I'm not the gay
man.
man. He wasn't even cute either.
That
So
was
Tom
great.
massaging a cabbie on
Yes.
National Relaxation
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
Those were the days.
Hey, Steve, we were talking about the eclipse just a second ago, and so Vikki, I said, I'm going to show you my video on Facebook, and this is one gripe I have about the Facebook app. You cannot see videos that people upload on on the app. It won't let you.
Won't?
Mm-mm.
That stinks.
I think you can.
I can't access my album of videos on my app. It's just, and I've Googled it, and I guarantee you have a Droid, right, Steve, or an Apple?
No, Apple.
Okay, so let's ask Susan Bennett.
Yeah,
Let's
Siri.
ask Miss Siri.
What the hell?
Miss Siri, what's up?
Yes, hello. The gang's all here.
Yes, hello, Siri.
Hello.
First of all, we want to know how you got the job.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I did some recording for a company that I've been working for many, many years, doing phone messaging. And these new scripts came up in 2005, and I thought, well, this is unusual. And it was obviously something else, but, and I've talked to other original Siri voices about this. We all had the same experience. It was just sort of something new. And then 6 years later, boom, we're Siri. So, you know, I think what happened is that, you know, the Uber geeks behind all of this stuff knew what was happening, but those of us just, you know, scrounging around trying to work didn't realize what we were doing. And then suddenly, you know, we became this persona. And so I have no idea whether it was the original creators of Siri. Little fact here, Apple did not create Siri. It was some engineers. And so it was either those guys or it might have been Steve Jobs. He was very involved in the development of the app, or someone else at Apple, or, you know, I have no idea. So it remains a mystery, and Apple likes it that way.
And are you the only Siri in the world?
No, they have Siris for each, you know, language that the iPhone is, you know,
Okay.
offers.
So it's
and so
ask.
there's, you know, because even though the voices are concatenated, meaning they take parts of the recordings that we did and put them back together to form the Siri's answers. Even though the voices are concatenated, it just sounds much more natural if you have a native speaker doing the original recordings.
Now, did they know, you said it took 6 years to do this. Did they have any idea, obviously they did, that people like my friends were going to ask really raunchy questions, and they must have been prepared for that, right?
Well, I think so. I think they prepared for just about any, you know, any occurrence, considering some of the answers that Siri gives. But that's all up to the programmers. So that's totally beyond the voice people. We just provided the voices.
One thing I read about it is it true that you didn't say words exactly? You had to say sounds that they put together to form like syllables of words. Is that correct?
Actually, we read phrases and sentences that were created to get all of the sound combinations in the language. So many times the phrases we had to read made absolutely no sense. Things like militia oi hallucinate, buckra okra ooze.
Yeah.
Bossa,
Wow.
Bossa ask fussy. Cow hoist in the tub hut today. And so this went on for hours and hours, and each phrase had to be read exactly the same. It had to be consistent because after the recordings were done and they were going in to pick out the different sounds, they had to be in the same register. So everything had to be read consistently in the same pitch, the same tone, the same pacing. So it was very, very tedious work. And when they wanted this company that was responsible for this work wanted to put me under a 5-year contract, I said, no, I think I've already killed too much gray matter already.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you, I was going to ask you how long the whole procedure took, and were you just burned out?
Well, for me personally, the first vocabulary was recorded in 2005, the entire month of July, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it was very taxing, and so I really didn't do a whole lot else during that time. Little pickups were done here and there, and then 4 months of updates were done in 2011 and 2012, basically stuff that was used for GPS, because at that point in time, I was reading actually, you know, things that made sense, you know, actual addresses and things like that. So, yeah, they wanted to put me under contract for 5 more years, and you know, at that point in my life, I just did not want to devote any more time to that particular thing.
Wow.
Was it lucrative? I mean, I don't want you to tell us exactly how much you made, but
it was lucrative if you can. It depends. It's relative. it wasn't lucrative considering my voice ended up on millions and millions and millions of devices with no compensation.
Gotcha.
All of us theories had that same, experience. It's paid well for the actual recordings, but, it's just the way things have evolved technologically speaking. I mean, you look at the voiceover business today compared to what it was like even 5 years ago, and there's just no comparison. And with the internet, so many things, especially things that are related to artistic things or, voice work, music, that sort of thing, it's all been so incredibly devalued because of the internet. And now, in fact, my agent in Los Angeles did an interview recently, and they were asking him about this, and he said, well, we're trying really hard to do well by our clients. He said, but, when you've got a session out there that should pay $500 and some person's doing it for $50, it's very hard to keep up the standards. So,
right.
I think it's just not just in our business. It's all over the place. Unfortunately, corporations are looking for the absolute bottom line. And it's just the regular people who are paying for that.
Susan, is it true that you didn't even know you were doing this for Apple when you were doing it?
Correct.
Huh.
I had absolutely no contact with Apple. I know that one of the original Siri voices, who happened to be male, some of the original voices in other countries were male. And this guy told me that Apple contacted him and said, look, we'd appreciate it if you didn't promote yourself because we want the voice to remain anonymous. And this guy said, well, I am promoting myself. This is kind of a feather in my cap. And they said, well, what about your contract with Apple? He said, I don't have a contract with Apple. And they said, oh, click. Because all of us original voices, because we worked through, the IVR company, Scansoft, which became Nuance, which is the largest IVR company in the world. We worked for them, and Apple sort of came in after the fact.
Okay.
And so Apple really had nothing to do with any of us. The only sort of acknowledgement I got was at a tech conference, and I met Steve Wozniak, and he acknowledged me as Siri. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's a very cool guy.
So what can't you do now as Siri?
What can't I do?
Yeah, is there anything that they restrict you from doing? I mean, could you go on?
They really have absolutely nothing to do with me. I am the only person who can say that I'm Siri. Now, they changed the voices,
right.
Starting with System OS 7, because we feel it's because we didn't have non-disclosure agreements with Apple, and they didn't like us promoting ourselves. They really did want the app to remain anonymous, so that all these, people could imagine this Sofia Vergara or somebody that they're talking to.
Yeah.
And so they changed all the voices, and they chose the new voices, ones that sounded quite similar to the original ones. Many people can't tell the difference. Of course, I can hear it immediately. But and
so
they
you're not
changed
on
all
the
voices,
iPhone 7?
The new people do have non-disclosure agreements, so you presumably won't ever find out who the new voices are. So the original voices we're still the only ones that would say that we're Siri. And I'll have to say, I think a lot of your listeners are going to be hearing this and going, oh my God, she wasn't paid. Well, the thing is, though, I can claim being the voice of Siri, and I've had a lot of really incredible experiences because of that, and I've done a lot of really fun work because of it too. So, there's a positive side to everything.
If there was a battle between Alexa and Siri, who would win?
Oh, well, that's not fair to ask me. I'll tell you, the voice that I like best is the Google voice. So, it's all very subjective. But I got to tell you, I got to watch out for Siri because she's sneaky.
Yeah, I do love the Google voice. I named her Michelle. Do your friends name your voice?
Well, I had someone tell me that they ended up not buying a car because it was my voice on the GPS. They said, I just couldn't take you telling me where to go and what to do all day. And I said, well, get used to it because it's really hard to escape me at this point in time.
Right. And why Siri? Why did they choose that name?
Oh, well, because one of the original creators was from Norway. And he and his wife were expecting a baby, and they expected the child to be a girl. Baby turned out to be a boy, and they had chosen the name Siri. So when they couldn't give it to the boy, they gave it to the app. And in Norwegian, the name Siri means beautiful woman who guides you to victory.
Wow. Susan.
Yeah, I personally think she's a feisty chick who tells you where to go.
I love that.
That's funny.
And I love what remember I'd forgotten that story when you said that Apple had nothing to do with it, but they did buy out the two guys that created it.
Yes, they ended up hiring those guys. There were 3 engineers that I know of, and of course there were many more people on their team. But it was Adam Cheyer, Tom Gruber, and Dag Kitlaus was the guy from Norway, and they were ultimately were employed by Apple and continued to develop the app. And I also had someone else do some more research for me, and I discovered that I think Apple actually purchased Nuance, the text-to-speech company, the IVR company. And so, I don't really get into all that stuff. It really has, no effect on me personally. So.
Have you ever done any of the fun games that you can do with Siri?
Well, if by games you mean talking to her and being completely dissed by her, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some attitude, doesn't she? The very first time I spoke to Siri, and you can't imagine how creepy it is.
I bet.
I mean, I'm used to hearing my voice in many different places and on lots of commercials and things like that. But to have your voice, you talk to this little computerized telephone, and you're talking to yourself and your own voice comes back at you. It's just the creepiest thing in the world. So I really did not talk to Siri very much when she had my voice. And especially because the one and only time I spoke to her, I said, well, hi, Siri, what are you doing? And she very disgustedly said, I'm talking to you.
Speaking of which, do you have since they've changed the iOS system, do you have your voices or some of your Siri moments taped?
No, but you can find plenty of it on the web. It's out there.
And what's the strangest question Siri's ever been asked?
Well, I don't know because, I'm not there.
But what's this? Okay, then what's the strangest response that you had to record?
I don't really know. I mean, everyone else, of course, quotes the, where's the best place to hide a body. And, I can't even begin to imagine some of the things that people ask Siri because I've met a lot of people who, people have developed a relationship with this app. It's actually pretty strange. I think that they talk back and forth to this, inanimate object so much, but it's the persona has become real to them. It's pretty incredible, actually. I think we're all getting prepared to be taken over by aliens, frankly. And we're marching into the sea thanks to Siri.
Well, I asked Alexa, and she said, "Get back to me on that." So. Oh
yeah, or maybe they just won't tell you. There are certain things they won't tell you, things that they know, but they won't tell you.
Hey, Susan, where do we hear you current day now?
Well, you will hear me on some commercials, national commercials where they're using a GPS voice or a Siri-type voice. Sometimes I'll show up there. And I was on one of the Lego Batman trailers. And you will hear me all over the place without realizing it, which is unfortunate because that means they're not paying me.
That is not right.
I'm sorry?
That is not right. You need to be paid.
Oh, well, we're kind of living in a world that's not right, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't get started on that. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's not right. And I really hate to see the fact that the union has been so compromised by, the beginning of non-union work, which, of course, has been going on for, maybe forever in the state of Georgia, which is a right-to-work state. But now that Voices.com has purchased VoiceBank, and at least VoiceBank had, union auditions. I really don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, they could be doing, of course, Fiverr.com has got people doing all kinds of things for $5. So I don't know where we're headed.
Yeah. It is nuts. Well, Susan, so good talking to you. Thank you so much for giving us some time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you remember coming down to Z93 years ago?
I remember nothing. I say nothing.
Hey, can you give us, before we let you go, can you say you're listening to the Steve and Vikki podcast?
No, I can't because my agent would have me shot. That's the only thing I can't do. I can say hello and goodbye to you guys, but I can't really do any sort of promo.
Right.
Okay, we get it.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you pay me, huge amounts of dollars. So.
Don't worry, we'll just go to Fiverr.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure there are like hundreds of Siri impressionists on. Get the Siri voice for $5. There you go.
I love it.
Thank you, Susan.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. You guys are Atlanta stars.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You're very sweet.
And
to
we
say
got
that.
that from Siri. All right.
We appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Siri.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was good.
Yeah, sorry I dropped my stuff here.
That's so interesting that you think how big Apple is, a billion-dollar company, and these voices got nothing.
Well, that's the way it all is now. Everyone's doing voiceover, like she said, for $5.
Nobody wants to pay. Just everything that she said.
It's the same in television. I mean, it's
it is.
Every medium, everything. It's so diluted. And when the economy tanked, I think that's where companies started using the excuse of we're not paying that.
So many
watching
people
the
are
bottom
going
line.
in-house and finding people in-house to just voice their stuff, too.
And host events. I'm seeing that. I hosted an MC corporate events, and then a lot of I'll come back to the company next year, and they'll go, we're going to get someone to do it in-house. We're going to save the money.
We got Hal. He's really funny.
Yeah. We love him. He's up in the break room. You ought to see him.
Yeah. That's tough. But she got paid for her time, I guess, is what she was saying, the time that she put in, but didn't get paid anything extra.
It's kind of like
the
when
devices
who was
that
your
she's
buddy that you loved that's dead, that was on an island, Little Buddy TV show. I never saw it, never
Gilligan's
watched.
Island?
Yes, wasn't that a period of time when everything became syndicated, and those actors, when a new generation saw Gilligan's Island, none of them got a penny.
Right.
So now this is kind of the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So she did a job, but now her voice is everywhere. Like she said, I hear myself everywhere, but she gets no
But
compensation.
the plus side is she can publicize it. So she can use that as a lucrative
on her website.
And wherever.
But it's interesting. That Apple didn't tell them either that they were auditioning for Siri or doing Siri's voice.
Yeah.
Well, case in point, the woman who was the star, I don't know if we talked about this before, the star of Wonder Woman from Israel, she had flown to do an audition, flew all the way back. Her agent called and goes, hey, they want you to do another on-camera read. She goes, are you kidding me? I'm not flying back. I've been doing so much work, and I'm kind of like, I'm just tired. She thought it was like her career was kind of fading. And they said, well, didn't they tell you who the audition was for? She goes, no, they didn't mention who the audition was for. What movie is this? He goes, have you ever heard of Wonder Woman? She goes, get me on the next flight.
Yeah.
They didn't tell her?
No. How about that?
Wow.
And by the way, I've seen that movie twice. I really thought it was an amazing film, an empowering film for women, especially.
Oh, my God.
That there aren't any really real women superheroes out there. Most of them are guys.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Gal Gadot? Do you pronounce the T?
I don't know.
She was in, the first thing I saw her in, it was a film that they did here in Atlanta with John Hamm, and it was like Keeping Up with the Joneses or something.
She was the wife. That's right. Yeah, she was the spy.
Right.
She kicked everybody's ass in that, too. Yeah. That was a very funny movie.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is
and
beautiful.
Smart, and she can kick butt, like you said.
Speaking of movies and things like that, Atlanta is like exceeding Hollywood as the new Hollywood. There's more production going on here. Robert Downey Jr. came into the Buckhead Diner a couple of weeks ago with his wife.
Did you see him?
No, but everyone was so frightened to go up to him, except one server named Chad, great guy, aspiring author. He's writing a book, but he went up to him and delivered his salad, and they asked for
along with a book,
and then they asked for a picture too. Maureen, who's the great GM over there, and then someone else came in recently, who was another big star. We're seeing more celebs in our town.
Clint Eastwood was back here again, scouting for another movie.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
He just wrapped one. He just finished a movie.
Yeah, and the Ozarks was filmed here completely around Lake Lanier, actually.
Really?
And Jennifer Brett just said that Ryan Gosling is coming back. They're doing a movie on Neil Armstrong. He's going to play Neil Armstrong, and it's going to be filmed here.
Interesting.
I walked into my gym last week, Buckhead Elite Training Studio, and the Housewives of Atlanta were filming there. And they had booked, I don't ever watch the show, but they had booked out the whole gym. You had to sign disclaimers if you were working out there. And they wanted one of my buddies, who's a trainer there named Courtney, to walk up and start flirting with some of the women. He goes, I can't do that. I'm getting married,
So they wanted to do something fake on a reality TV show?
I can't imagine.
Imagine that.
I don't know if I believe that, but, because it's all real television.
Yeah.
Yeah, real television, sure.
Real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, let's see what else we got going on here, guys. Did you see any movies lately? Tom?
What did I see?
Did you see Lucky Logan or Logan Lucky?
No.
Lucky Logan. Yeah.
It's okay.
I did see Wonder Woman. I saw The Shack. I think we talked about that. The Shack, the movie, which I thought was great.
Yeah. I saw Lucky Logan. It's very funny.
I thought so too.
Very good.
Oh,
very
I did
well
see something. Did we talk about that? Yeah, The Secret or something. It was a very powerful film about the woman, the zookeeper's wife.
Oh,
Is that new?
No. Well, it was new to me.
I was going to say you saw that on HBO or something, right? Because that's been out a while.
Yes, but I just got around to seeing it.
Did you see Dunkirk?
Powerful. No.
I thought it was fantastic.
That's funny. Dunkirk. I got the movie poster to that, and I'm collecting like posters that I think are going to be really good for the Academy Awards party next year, preaching.
Oh.
And so I thought
that'll be nominated.
Dunkirk. That's what my friend said. And I thought, what?
They did a great job of marketing because they basically marketed Harry Styles. So then you've got all the teens and the tweens. And I thought, okay, really? Is he going to be able to act? And he's not really the star, but he does an exceptional job. And I just thought that the sound effects and the whole logistics and the lighting, Tom, you would appreciate that. I thought it was very realistic.
It was well done, but I didn't like it. I did not like
it.
I didn't care for the characters at all. They did not make me care.
Even
for
Tom Hardy?
They didn't make me care for those characters. The only characters I cared about were the old man on the boat that was bringing the people back.
But yeah, didn't you see my heart swelled when you see all these small little ships saving their own?
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder, would that happen in America?
No.
Which makes me sad, but that was just so incredible.
Yeah,
that a guy
was.
risks his son's life because he's so afraid that the soldiers, their country soldiers, are going to perish. So they say, we're all going out and we're doing our part. I just thought that was great.
Speaking of Academy Award nominated films, did you guys ever see Baywatch, the new one?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I'm telling you right now.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I started to watch it and I just thought, I don't know. I'll just save it for another.
And I really like The Rock.
Yeah, and I like Zac Efron.
And Zac Efron, too, but I heard it was just pretty bad.
Yeah, it's all fluff, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't see that. What else have I seen? Mike loved Atomic Blonde.
Oh, I did
loved.
too. I did too.
And I have to say, it's more because of the sex scene with she and another woman than it is the whole James Bond thing. I'm like, this is why so many men like this movie.
Well, I was going to see Dinner with Beatrice, but you told me that it was very depressing. So
yes, extremely. You might like it, but it's very depressing.
I still haven't. I always talk about this movie, but it was the 100-Foot Journey. Was that what it was called? The one where Oprah produced it. And remember, there was a 5-star restaurant, 3-star Michelin restaurant right across, and it was an Indian family opening.
I love that movie.
Amazing movie. I like movies like that are empowering. That leave you, that run all the emotions, laughter, crying, and then a great outcome.
Yeah, that was a great film.
Speaking of which, Steve, you would like this. I know Vikki doesn't watch America's Got Talent, but the production values on this show are probably some of the finest of any live show going on in television right now, with the produced packages.
Yeah.
And there's this little boy named Merrick who was on this past Tuesday show, and they did this thing of him in a treehouse.
It was great. Yeah. They focused on his eye.
Yeah. Oh, my God, Steve.
It was great.
As someone who loves technicality like that, I backed it up, and it was like a mini movie.
I know, it's the same thing. It was great. Yeah.
Yes.
He's great, too.
That kid, oh, my gosh.
Does this robot dance, Vic, that cannot be beat. I mean,
pure joy. This kid's so young and pure.
So where would he perform? Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get one show or like a weekend of 2 shows or something is the grand prize, and they get $1 million payable over 40 years.
Yeah.
That's how it pays out.
It's good for the kids.
Yeah, it's good.
The kid's going to win. That little 9-year-old girl's going to win.
Angelica Hale?
Yeah, no, Celine.
Oh, no, I think Angelica Hale, who is also from Atlanta. I think she's a more dynamic talent.
Which singer is she?
She's also the little girl who went to Children's Health Care, got a kidney transplant from her mother. She got the Golden Buzzer. Early, like
she
about
girl
3 weeks
was on
ago.
last night?
No, that was Celine. This girl was on several weeks ago. She was the first to get to the semifinals.
Okay. She's a singer?
Singer, yes.
How old?
9 years old.
Okay. Well, there's the 9-year-old girl, Celine,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the deaf girl who's very, very good.
Yeah,
They're all
she's really
singers.
good. I mean, that girl
Good
who,
singers.
the girl who's hearing impaired,
Yeah.
Steve, she had a beautiful voice. They placed her last, and that's the song, Vikki. I would download that off
Yeah.
iTunes.
It's
That's
a
how
great
powerful
song.
it was.
Really?
Great song. Yeah, she wrote it, too.
Yes. Maybe we can get a clip of that right now, Steve.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Come walk, my friend, with me to a place that we always dreamed. You will know how it feels to be right where you're supposed to be. When all I see is you holding me forever. All I see is you holding me forever. Day by day we'll journey on through the storm and through calm. Day by day we'll find a way together. 'Cause all I see is you holding me forever. All I see is you holding me forever. All I see is you holding me forever.
That's good, yeah.
I mean, they're looking for undiscovered talent, people who have a different sound, Vikki, and this is really a beautiful sound. It's a really inspiring song. I'm going to send it to you.
It's good. So let's see, what else?
How's the kids, the grandkids?
Grandkids are doing well. They started school.
No stories?
No stories from school that I heard of. Nope, nothing. Got nothing.
Got nothing?
Really?
Got 2 cats upstairs, though. Got
What?
2 cats upstairs. Stay away from upstairs.
Don't talk about your wife like that.
No, 2 cats.
Why do you have cats?
Because Elise is here. Elise, Brennan's girlfriend. They're here 'cause they moved up here. They're here right now, so the cats are with us.
I saw the sign on the door, please close door.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the cats?
Yeah, because they'll run outside.
I wondered. I was feeling something in my nose. I just assumed it was.
Did you really?
Well, I mean, I feel an allergy, but it could be the ragweed outside or something, but maybe it is the cats.
Yeah.
Cats kill me. Yes. If I'm ever dead and my body's found in Steve McCoy's house, he did it and he used his cats.
Okay. Well, he has a candle burning.
Yeah.
That's going to take care of it.
Yep.
It doesn't smell quite like mold down here. Maybe because the candle is covered. Steve.
Thanks.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And we did the check presentation for Parkinson's for Steve.
Yeah, we raised how much? Like nearly $5,000?
No, almost
$6,000.
Yes. So thanks to everybody that came out.
Yeah.
And it's coming up this month. It's going to be LLS.
ALS?
Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Oh, yes. Okay. Don't they have that thing, or they already have it, like the men thing where like they had this big...
Like the man and woman of the year.
Yeah, and she raised like about something extraordinary, like a couple $100,000.
Wow.
Or something extraordinary. They just, as a matter of fact, I know Christine, my friend, hosted it, or she attended a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but it was dynamic.
And it did raise a lot of
money. And our friend Meg and Rick bartended with his son to raise money for lymphoma.
Mm-hmm.
And now he pledged to raise $10,000, as a matter of fact.
So everybody go out and eat at any salt location in Woodstock, Roswell, or Alpharetta, and all the money this month is going to go to LLS.
No, we love it.
Not all the money. Portion of the proceeds.
Portion of proceeds. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for us today. Thank you to Susan Bennett for checking in with us. SIRI, That's fun to talk to her.
Mm-hmm. I loved her.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a Droid user, I hear her a lot.
Yeah. She's on Droids, right?
No.
She's not?
No, only on Apple product.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I like Alexa, too. I'd like to see the two of them in an action movie.
Wow.
Siri and Alexa.
Covered in hot oil.
Well, make it your wish someday, the way movies are going.
And you know what's coming up next week, too?
What?
Or this week? It's football season!
Woo! Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Bulldogs.
What high school are they playing this week? Yeah. See you next time, everybody. Bye.